Best believe that I be getting fly with my baby. Yeah.
Singing.
Yeah.
Oh
What?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Get my
What's up,
get my
man?
illumination station. What's up,
Oh yeah,
man?
it's beautiful. It
Yes.
looks cold behind you, man.
It
Is that a background?
no, this is just
Is that a background of Siberia?
this is just sitting here. Look, I got my blanket here too that I'm like uh this this needs to be appropriate.
All right, bro, check this out.
This is a special episode of Writer's Block. So
It is. It
yeah.
is a special episode. So
Well, awesome background, man. That studio
thanks,
is coming
dude.
along.
I got to work on it. I've done a lot of research and I've actually learned a lot about lighting over the last week. My uncle's into lighting, and I don't have time to set it up quite properly, but we're figuring that out.
It's coming. It's looking great.
It's coming. It involves bouncing light off a sheet, which is something I
Yeah,
didn't know was a thing, but it's a thing. Pretty cool.
it's
Y'all
real
just
cool.
wait for that sheet bounce. It's gonna be pretty great.
You heard it here first, folks. Wait for Writer's Block to get the sheet bounce.
You'll know when it
Yep.
happens.
When you know, you know.
There won't be a shadow right there. Now that's all you're gonna see. It's like
Yeah.
shadow.
Now they're stuck with it. You see this? You see that?
Oh, AI.
Yeah. As you know, I've got an AI filter. It's so good.
AI breath coming out.
It's just
It's like humans breathe, right?
yeah.
Humans breathe.
We can do that. I
Yeah.
can make that. Well, all right. Well, dude, I'm super pumped. Special episode of Writer's Block. I don't know where we're gonna cut the thing here for like the music to play, but let's
Right about here would be good. Bam.
Hey, go on and hit subscribe for us. We had the idea to have some explosions in this last episode. Then we realized that we don't have the money for that because we don't have enough subscribers. We're not monetized. But that's going to happen. You can be a part of it. Get in on it now. Get in on the explosions.
there it is, and we're back. Yeah.
Man, that music's good.
It's
Gosh.
so good. Whoever made it is very talented. I'm just
Yep.
gonna say
Super
that.
talented. That took a really long time. It didn't take one cut at all.
Not, not
So
it wasn't like one of us hit up the guy that's actually musically talented and said, "We need a theme song," and then the other
I
guy
was like,
went
I
five
got you.
minutes later. Yeah, here's
No one
something.
cares about theme songs anyway, so you just crap out whatever comes to mind.
They're overrated. They're overrated, but ours isn't. So you know what? Just for you folks watching and listening, here it is again.
Oh, yes. I love it, dude. But yeah, we got a special episode. So, man, it's so nice and toasty and warm here. Um, it's so cold where you are. That's crazy.
It's like we're on polar opposites of a tidally locked planet.
Yep. And why does that matter?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say. Can I say it?
Say it.
I'm gonna say it because Sam is now going to be a published author, and his book is about. Well, it's around a tidally locked planet. Solstara, ladies and gentlemen, it's up
Yep.
there. We put it up. Now you see words, and they all look fancy. Our editing skills are better. Thank you, editor person.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. So I think we'll get into a lot of y'all are interested in the perspectives of the perspective of writers.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about some of the properties that we love, whether we're reading, whether it's some of the stuff we're reading, some of the stuff we're watching. Um, Nothing can derail a show or a movie or a property is like bad writing. And we feel your pain. And so we should talk about it, we should process it. It's a safe place here. That's part of what we do. But also, we do want to share with you our publishing journey. And this is kind of moving faster than we expected. We're just a few months into doing this. And yeah, I'm under contract. And
Yep.
good year from now, we'll have something. And this isn't just to like promote a book. This is literally first of all, we're having fun. Second of all, we're getting better at our craft because we're having fun together, talking about this kind of stuff. It makes you better.
Yep.
And finally, we're finding the people who are interested in the same stuff. And so we're finding you. So whenever these books come out, we'll be able to put them in your hand. You'll be able to read them. Honestly, there's going to be deals and stuff like that. One of the things they tell us to do is give away a lot of books. And so great. The only thing is once we give them to you, hey, just read them and then tell people about them if you love them. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Also,
So
let us know what you think about them too. Like, this is why we're here. We want to talk to you. So that's the writer right there. And I'll write one too, then I'll be the writer too. Actually, we've written together. So we want to hear what you have to say. Like, it's okay. You could be like, I hated it. Mark, you're the worst writer. Sam, you're awesome. Whatever. It can go either direction. We're not going to be offended. It just is.
We
You're
may be
like
sad, but we won't be offended. We won't
we
be.
we
And if
definitely.
you're mean in the comments, we won't say anything. We'll be professionals, and the professional response is to comment something snarky back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But funny.
So good. What
So,
great. Yeah, of course. Everything you said is just like
thanks for your opinion.
try writing a book. Try putting yourself out there. I'm just
Yeah,
joking. No, we love
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. No, you got to get thick skin, and we learn as we discuss this kind of stuff. We're gonna find out different trends, different things that you love, different things you hate, just from interacting with you. So that's a long intro. But yeah, we thought we would talk about the book a little bit today, just to orient you to the concepts, and we would love for you to post in the comments if you're like, "Whoa, that's interesting," or "That idea right there," because you might actually be able to change the trajectory of the novel at this point. I'm about to get my developmental edits in from the editor, and then I'm gonna have to go to town. And I do have creative control with this process that I've entered, and so maybe you can help me determine what I should keep, what I should dump. Maybe I'll share those edits, and you'll be like, "Ooh, yeah, you should definitely get rid of that." So yeah, it should be fun. But you can actually influence the trajectory of the book if there's something that really stands out that you love. I'm about to be diving in, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Um, with that being said, let's start this with Sam. You want to give us an elevator pitch for the book? Like,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, wait. I'm gonna give me a second because I'm gonna every time I say this, I'm gonna do like I'm gonna tell our editor to give us a little visual thing for the
Okay.
transition.
All right.
So, Sam, give us an elevator pitch for your new book.
Awesome. So it'll open up with there'll be two guys in an elevator in an awkward standing there awkwardly, and there'll be a second count like there's 10 seconds until the door opens.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, go. And this is something that we're gonna have to work on a lot. But me and Mark actually worked on this when I was pitching the book, just trying to get some kind of a feel for it. And essentially, the biggest selling point is kind of the starting place, which was the starting place for me, which is the setting. The setting ends up driving everything else. And so basically, you've got a planet that is close to a red dwarf star, and so it's a tidally locked planet. So the planet doesn't rotate around the star. It's got a hot side. It's got a cold side. Everyone has to live in the little strip in between, which is it's twilight, but it's red sun twilight that they're living in. And there's certain areas that are easier to survive in, and so that creates all these political dynamics, and basically it tells the story of people who are trying to terraform different parts of the planet so that more people can have a decent life, a decent place to live, and just the troubles and the difficulties of trying to do something good in a broken world, something lasting and good in a corporate world. So that gets into theme a little bit too. So I'll boil that down probably as we practice this to like two actual sentences.
Yeah,
But
but that
that's the guy left the elevator. I'm grabbing his coat.
it's been
Wait.
3 minutes, and then
Let me tell
what
you about the
happens?
magic system. Let me tell you about the weapons.
Let me tell you about the. You know what? I actually want to talk about the weapons, but yeah, let's
Let's do
just
it.
dive into it. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Um,
We're
so
gonna
I
we're gonna throw out all these different concepts, and because we can't spoil the whole book, but you're gonna
right.
get a lot of this is how I write. Like, and I like to have a lot of the elements, and just I like all this stuff. I know I like this plot line. I know I like this type of character, and you start with all that stuff. That's all good, and then good stuff happens. So that's kind of my process or whatever.
Yeah, full pantsing happening over here. It's a elementary school or middle school bathrooms. A lot of pantsing happening.
A lot of pantsing happening. Oh, you know what? The best metaphor for it is if you got the really have you seen Chopped, like
Yeah,
the cooking show?
yeah,
You've
yeah.
got if you've got the best ingredients, you kind of can't lose. So I
Yeah.
try to spend my time picking the best ingredients, and
Ooh,
then the story's gonna be cool, and I'll run into trouble and stuff like that. But like, if you're cooking with the good stuff, if you got
yeah,
that good bacon, bro, I mean the
yeah.
thing's gonna be good. You know what I'm
Top shelf
saying?
applewood, honey smoked bacon, some Wagyu beef. It's hard to make
Yep.
anything bad. You're right.
Yep. And if you're a writer, you may pick up a couple tips because you're going to have the Brandon Sanderson stuff out there. You're going to have kind of the plotters out there. You're going to have all these geniuses who have their own method. This method is actually a little bit different, and it might be something that you can try to help get you out of a rut. So, with that being said, what were you wondering about, Mark?
Okay, so I really like the pistols. I'm a big pistol guy and everything. If anybody knows me, I'm a big sword and pistol guy. I'm like super weeby. Like I like katanas. Yeah, I like katanas. I like pistols. And your pistol is it's super unique weaponry in this. And they don't just fire. They sing specific notes. Like what was it? A flats maximum power, I think. Is that
Yeah, so it's like the second you mash the trigger, it starts to power up or whatever. And the musical pitch will raise. And if you release it at the right time, you get like different power levels of shots. And so this comes from there's multiple different types of weapons, but I was trying to think of a distinctive weapon, for this universe that would just be interesting and cool, something the protagonist would mess around with, probably something a little less common. I mean, this is Star Wars, right? Like everyone doesn't have a lightsaber. I mean, now everyone does, but like everyone's not supposed to have it. It's supposed to be like you won't like you can go through your whole life and never see one
right?
anywhere,
Right.
and
Even
honestly,
Jedi.
everyone does. Yeah. And so if you have something like that, it's a game changer. It's the fun thing where the bounty hunter has a certain weapon and so he can do things that other people can't, which gets into like video game type stuff. Like if you're playing like Legend of Zelda or something like that, if you don't have the appropriate weaponry, you can't do certain things at different times. And so, you got that little element to it. And so basically, it's the pitch will go up, you release it at the right time. And that gets into like, I don't know if you played Dead Cells or something like that. A lot of video games feature weapons that are timing based. So, like,
Yeah.
it's like a bow. And if you release it at the right point, you get like triple the power. But if you don't, it's weak. It's weak.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a niche weapon that's a little scary to use, but if you master it to where the timing's perfect every time, you're getting critical hits constantly. And so the main character, has this like he's a musician at heart. He's got like that musical gene in him. It's kind of repressed and stuff like that, but he's got like this musicality that baked into his DNA, and he's just good at you know tapping the trigger at the right time, and you get like a massively stronger shot if you do that. And I was playing around with I heard the pitch of it like when I'm just driving, just thinking through it, and I heard like a whoop, but I was like, what if it actually like curved up and you had to release it at the right time to get the right effect? And then I had the pitch, I ran inside on the piano and like was mashing around. I was like, that's an A flat, that's cool. And it kind of started building a system, but it's also cool because it's character driven, right?
Yeah.
So like it's an artist's weapon, and it's and if you're repressed or too amped up or just freaking out, you can't use it under pressure. And
Right.
so yeah, part of this guy's character arc is, can he like really tap into this thing and unlock its full capability? He knows he can, but he might have to go through a character journey first to really get the most out of the weapon. And so that's a cool little magic system. And I actually have a few edits to where I'm going to ramp up the difficulty level of it.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
I love it. I love the crit multiplier. It definitely put me in like that video game world where it's like, hey man, if you get good, this weapon's the best. And if you're not good,
don't
don't
use it.
use this weapon. Yeah.
Just spam the axe or whatever,
Yeah, just
the big axe or
just
whatever.
use the axe of the club. Don't use the sword of soul. That's
Don't.
that
Too
you can
hard.
beat the game easy with it if you're good, and if you can't, yeah. So I love it. I thought that was so cool. I was wondering, and you kind of answered a little bit, like what music genre. You told me where it came from. I was thinking, where'd you get that idea from? But now I'm thinking, like, what music genre do you like hear this music, this tone in? Like, is it like a jazzy A flat, or is it like, like, is it like a country kind of A flat? Like, is
A
it?
country one. That'd be something. That's a different book. Honestly, it might match because these characters are really rural. Like,
Oh
um,
yeah.
you as a writer, really just as a person, there's a dialect that you use that's you, right? Like, I was trying to learn Portuguese, and then when you talk to people, they don't talk like that. Like, that's cool. Duolingo's cool, but everyone has their spin that they put on it, and so it depends on if you got a twang or whatever. So like a lot of these characters have that rural twang, and I know how to write that because I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a little bit of a twang in there, and so
What?
I get it. So like whenever I'm, they're like whenever they cuss or whenever they say get him instead or get them instead of like get them, like um, it's going to be natural. It's going to be because that's how you actually talk. And one of the biggest challenges to learning how to write is learning how to put on the page how it sounds to actually speak.
Mm.
And so that's something that I don't do everything naturally well. That is something that I naturally do pretty well, and that was a really big strength um, for the book. So yeah, the characters got what was the question? I forgot. I was talking about dialects.
Yeah,
Got
yeah, I
it.
was talking about the twang of the song from the weapon,
Oh,
but
the genres. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
genre,
yeah. Okay,
but
okay, okay.
you kind of answered it. I mean,
No, I started talking about character.
you were,
Did
but
not answer your question.
Mike, but you did because you just said, it's you didn't say what it was, but you said everybody's got a little bit of like or especially different characters from the outskirts of the main areas have more of they're a little more country in the vibe,
Yep.
and you got a little bit of country vibe in you too. So of course that comes out in these characters. In fact, I can assume that Rhea and Reed have different. Then I don't assume I read it. They have different speaking styles.
Yep.
So Reed definitely is almost like a you kind of amalgamation, to be honest with you, in my mind. He's a pretty I'm not saying he is you, so people reading this, you don't know Sam by reading Reed. I just think there are portions of you in this character personally, and I
Yeah,
like the
totally.
character.
Look. So this is a trope, right? We could get into our other discussion, like the
Yeah.
author stand-in,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, but there's a component of write what you know, and like, he is an author stand-in, and all my characters are stand-ins just about for experiences and people that I've known, and I'll put those together. So like, the character, so I based Rhea, who's the main female protagonist. I have three main protagonists, which I like. I like having a little bit more POVs to work with. You can lose character depth from doing that, but I really like it. And she's in the political scene, so she speaks very differently. And in my brain, I'm listening to a friend of mine who works in the government, just the smartest person I know. Just like she if she was president, the world would be a better place, way better place. I won't run down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, fair, fair, but I'm with you.
Yeah, but she's very proper and she's very succinct and she speaks slowly, but like she ends up saying everything faster than everyone else because she's so exact and
Mm.
she's very controlled. And so like I heard her voice when I'm writing that other character. And it would be wrong for it to sound like me or something like that. And with circuitous whatever pantsing during conversation, not answering the questions, that kind of thing. So I would say Reed is a little bit of an author stand-in because he's a vehicle for specific components of me that he's a stand-in for specific traumas and specific underlying issues, and even his enneagram is the same as mine.
Okay.
And so I'm not living through him in order to be a cooler person. I think I'm
You're very cool
well.
already.
I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I'm so cool. But I wanted this protagonist to write what I know. Long
Yeah.
story short, it's like a synth. It's like a synth note. It's like
Okay.
80s
Yeah, yeah,
synthesizer,
yeah,
and I was
yeah, yeah.
listening to like a lot of like dark synthy music. Actually reached out to there was a playlist that's really good. We'll post it in the description,
Heck yeah.
right? And then there's a specific artist. I think it's called Gibarian or something like that, which was my favorite song on that little track. And then I love the Midnight. I love the Midnight so much. If you don't know them, we'll link them to in the description.
We're
I
gonna look.
love them so much. But I listen to a lot of that instrumental stuff. And there's certain songs that are really dark that fit certain scenes, and then certain songs that are more hopeful, and certain songs that are devastatingly sad.
Mm.
And again, I'm a musician, so I'll tap into the emotion of the music for different scenes. And it was all dark 80s synth stuff. So
I love that. I'm a big music guy. I'm a big music guy in fiction. And I love that you connected your book with music because I mean, you know me well, but other people don't. I'm a huge fan of that. So I'm gonna stay on Reed here because he's a cool character and he kind of brings you into the whole world from the start of the book. I don't feel like that ruins anything. That's
no,
perspective.
yeah,
And he's kind of like this classic lone wolf, BA kind of character, like got a bit of a Sam Han Solo coolness vibe going. And how do
There's
you
some Batman influences for sure.
there's some Batman in there first. I mean, the guy
Yeah,
I wrote down a question to talk to you about his
I
utility belt.
saw
Yeah.
his utility belt. You said,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's almost like a little bit of a joke, you know, within the genre. The undergun. So he's cool and everything, but and he's rugged. But he is actually emotionally repressed, and that's to his detriment. Through and you see how that actually injures him as a character.
Mm,
And that's I think that's a great way to keep him from being a Mary Sue or a Gary Stu or whatever.
yeah.
Is the classic one is like, oh, he has anger problems. Ugh, he's such a broken character. He's not perfect. But then every time he gets mad, he like rages out and like uses it to his advantage.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Like
this is just awesome. It's not a character flaw. This is
if you
amazing.
have the Hulk and you're surrounded by an army and the Hulk hulks out and you saves everybody.
But they're like, man, it took an emotional toll. I'm like, I don't care. That was awesome. So that's like a fake way to have a flaw. But no, I wanted his emotional issues to actually be a significant flaw.
Yeah.
And you see multiple points in the narrative where it hurts him and hurts the people around him in meaningful ways. And then you also see that he drags his feet as a protagonist
Mm,
because he's so freaking stubborn. And as a reader, that's a great way to dial down how much you like him. This is a Brandon Sanderson thing. One of the there's a few different ways you can make some people like your character. It's are they super skilled? Are they can you emotionally connect with them? Like do you understand them on an emotional level and feel their pain? Can you empathize with them? And then the other one is how much do they push forward the progress of the actual plot? And so, Reed is holding the plot back because he's stubborn. He's being a jerk. He's a jerk, And so I wanted those things to be good. And then, I mean, to round him out as a character. And then finally, he is mostly outgunned. So he's skilled and he's smart, but he's not Superman. Like he's underpowered in situation after situation, thus the bat belt, right? Like,
yeah.
and it's kind of a joke. He's like overly prepared because he knows stuff goes wrong in this world.
Mhm.
And so sometimes he'll be in a normal everyday situation with just like all this stuff on him, and they're just like, dude, like,
You don't we're just getting
do you
coffee, my
need six
guy.
grenades to go to the to the restaurant? So
And then he uses two at the restaurant, and you're like, son
but
of a
then he needs them.
ah, yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, yeah.
I
So he's
love that.
pretty fun.
I used to have this joke with a friend of mine. We'd be back in the day, we were kids, like 16 years old. We'd play video games. I'd be at his house just sitting there. He'd watch me, I'd watch him. We play the same game, completely different. One of those games I'd run through and they'd go, "You got to level up." And I'd go, "I'm just going to jump over the rooftop, go to the boss and shoot him in the head." And they're like, "My guy, that you can't do that." And I'm like, "Oh, game let me. I win. That's the end of the game." And I watch him and he's like picking up rocks and putting them in his backpack and being like, "You might need the rocks." And so I used to be like, dude, in real life, you would just have this huge backpack full of nonsense. And he'd go, and then you'd ask me for a bottle of water, and I'd have 50. And I'm like, well, you got me there. You got
Fair
me.
enough.
I'd ask you.
That's
So,
how I play the game too. I'm not gonna lie. I get all the stuff. I put in like 100 hours, and then I'm way over leveled by the time I get to the boss, where I'm god tier, and he's just got like a chainsaw or whatever.
you're like, oh, do you want to fight, tiny boss?
I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you have a chainsaw. That's cool because I have this.
yeah, yeah. I have an automatic bazooka. I guess we should fight and
It
find
took
out
me
who
50
wins.
hours of gameplay to get this.
Oh, that's
So
so funny.
yeah.
So what do you think when you were writing Reed? What were you thinking about, like moving his lone wolfness towards like a community vibe, but like to me, you didn't lose his edge. Like he still was him. He just became a community person. And I think a lot of times when you read a Han Solo character-esque kind of guy, Batman character kind of guy, even Batman, you put him in the Justice League, and he is still extremely just a lone character that happens to be there. And like if he didn't own the building, he wouldn't be there, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Reed feels like he's part of the community. Like he's got a community to me, and he's still him. So I don't know how when you were writing, how you thought about that when you were like fleshing him out and putting him in these situations that brought him closer to other people to make him into a person that wasn't just, "I'll be back when it's done." You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that he's I think that there's a significant element of found family that is baked into the book, and I got a lot of inspiration for Reed from a friend of mine, really a good friend of mine. You know this guy, but he's just got a really tragic past. Like his mom was in jail, and his dad died, and so his dad's buddies just were like, "We got you. Like we'll always get you." And so he got raised by just a bunch of bros. And so like I think I wanted that to bake that into the character, and I think it ended up making the family element of it significant because he's broken, he's closed off, but he grew up with a bunch of dudes and they're boys, and so I got to have a lot of fun writing that kind of something that I don't feel like is particular. I don't see a lot of examples that come to. I don't have a lot of examples that come to mind of like male camaraderie
Yeah.
that I personally find very accurate. I'm like, they're gonna cuss at each other, and they're gonna, he's gonna scratch his butt, and he's gonna be half naked all the time, and he's gonna put his foot on the table, and that guy's gonna slap his feet off because he thinks that's gross,
Yeah.
and they're gonna, but then like and they're gonna fist fight sometimes and stuff
Hmm.
like in this world, but when it all comes down to it, like they would all die for each other. So like, so that was just a really fun element to just kind of create a small cast of characters of just of the guys. So like, two kind of adopted dad type guys, and then two brother type characters, or like one brother type character, and then just another guy that's just there. And I wrote him actually on the autistic spectrum, and
Mm.
just like again, like I'm a pastor, and we do a lot of different work with different ministries and things like that, and I thought it was a good opportunity to. You never know that as the reader, but you might pick up on it, and it's like just kind of graciously done, and it's not a caricature. And so again, just I think it was fun to throw him into those elements, and then show him. A lot of times loners are protective over certain people, and that's why they're loners, because they're protective over one group, and they won't open their borders to anyone else. And so as you experience them as loners and as unhealthy people, but really, it can be driven by something else. And so that was fun to write that. And then of course those scenes write themselves, right? Like that's hilarious. They're eating, coyote meat, and like it's nasty, and he doesn't flavor it right, and they're talking crap, and building
All still
stuff.
there.
Yeah.
But they're all
So
still, they could be anywhere else, but they're still there. You know.
yeah, yeah, and still there. So, and then out of that dynamic, I got my inciting incident for Reed, which I'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
But it starts with a lot of action, but because if you're a publisher, you want action on page one, and it's great best nowadays. You want the inciting incident as fast as possible, and if you're not caught up on that, the inciting incident is what puts the characters on a crash course with destiny. Puts your protagonist can no longer live his life or her life. They have to respond to this event, and they have to honor it, and they're thrown into the action. And so I got action on page one, but it's not his inciting incident because it doesn't actually change his life. His life is just insane.
It's just part of his
um
life,
yeah,
really.
he's kind of a cop in a in the Wild West where there's no cops, right? And so he's just kind of a dude who you can pay to come like save your kid if he gets lost in the desert or whatever. And he secretly cares. Like he
Yeah.
does care. So
So connecting to this inciting incident, let's move on to Rhea.
okay.
And I read it before. I know that I was reading the stuff that you were having me read yesterday, but the reason I didn't get very far is because I was kind of reskimming through this book. And because I just wanted to remember and be like, yeah, I enjoyed the read, but everybody should know I read this book last year. Like I have a pretty good memory, but I just wanted to make sure I
You
wasn't.
might want to jog it. Yeah.
Yeah, I might want to
And we've
jog it a
written a
little bit.
book since then. So like
We've written a book since I've read this book,
yeah, so
and he's probably rewritten parts of this book where I need to reread it. To be completely honest with you, but
I asked.
yep, see, um, but, but so Rhea she's a female lead of this, the female protagonist, and she's one of the dopest characters by far. But how did you balance her being like a hero, kind of like a hero versus being a hero or a leader is what I'm thinking. Like she she's very heroic in all that she does, but being a hero sometimes means that you make decisions that make you a bad leader. And being a leader sometimes means that you aren't a hero. Those are just intrinsic in those words. A hero rushes in to save the one. A leader will make sure that the many are okay. it's just the concepts. And she's
Yeah.
both of these things. And how does she balance this in this world where everything that she does costs lives? Everything's a numbers game of life and death.
Yeah, so I think the fun part, like where the conflict comes from for this character is I wanted a female character. I didn't want her to be like young and like, you know, like the
Yeah.
most beautiful person around. Like I wanted her to be more, established into life, right? So she's like 45 years old. She's still BA. She's well rounded out because like in her backstory, like she's a medic, which this person that I kind of modeled her after is, went to med school. And then she's like a kickboxer as well, which are just some interesting things. And I built that kind of into the lore of where she came from. And this person is too. So,
This
spoiler
person's
alert,
weird.
like some people who are like really incredibly talented and they're doing high capacity jobs, they're good at lots of stuff
Yeah.
because the same principles apply to multiple things, right? And so they can become really well-rounded people. So I wanted a flat arc female character who her real wrestling match is she's a hero, she's a leader. She may try to do too much in order to make something happen and try to take too much responsibility onto herself because she's truly noble. But a lot of the main struggle for her um, is can the world break her off of her course? And then because she starts here, and the question with the flat art character, you're Paddington too, right? Like there's all these really good. You're Legally Blonde, whatever her name is. Like you
L.
don't you don't want the character to change, right? Like the can't. So can she withstand the damage of the world? And she is a little naive because she's a visionary. So she has. I know how these people think. They see the possibility in every person and in everything, and that's their greatest strength, but that's also their greatest weakness
Right.
because they're it's every person's not going to live up to what they hope they could be,
They might
and
not even want to live up to what they could be.
every person's not gonna wind up being a good guy, and so that's the wrestling match that she's gonna have to wrestle with. And then of course she's pushy, so like she's like once she gets her she's a visionary, so once she gets her mindset on something, someone like Reed is going to be very annoyed by her because you have to be a part of this mission that's bigger than blah blah blah.
It's bigger
Reed's
than
like,
you.
i
Don't
I'm
care.
not doing this.
Yeah, I don't want to be
No,
here. Uh,
no.
you have
So
to. I don't. You have
yeah,
to. I don't. Well, why are you next to me? I just left you because you have to.
yeah.
I don't. You do. I'll
So
just leave.
I've seen, in church planning world, like I've seen in pastor world, like I've seen these dynamics play out, and they're interesting. And it's not so idealistic,
Yeah.
to see the best in people. That's actually kind of a rough gift to have. So I wanted to play around with that, and that's kind of where she's struggling. And then I love you have to throw every character. This is more storyboarding type stuff. You
Mm.
want to throw every character from their familiar place to the unfamiliar. And so she's more familiar in the rugged terrain because she's such a roll up your sleeves type person. She's less familiar raising money and like, blah, 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 all this kind of crazy stuff that you have to do if you're going to, plant these stations that terraform the broken places of the world, which is kind of the bigger thing that they're trying to accomplish.
Uh. Okay. I know that we're running low on time, so I'm gonna ask you one more, and then I want to do a lightning round.
All right, beautiful. I'm
All right.
ready.
So here's before the lightning round. Here's a quick question.
All right.
Got to talk about Queenie because she is like pretty freaking awesome. She's a scene stealer. Queenie is, and this is not a spoiler because you're gonna meet her quick.
Yep.
She is an AI that is in Reed's ship, and I was just wondering, is she based on somebody? Because you base all these people off people, and Queenie's
Queenie
so
is not. So,
yeah.
Queenie is another character as well, because she's the heart and soul of another character that's in
Mm.
the book. And so she kind of represents two different characters. I know it's a little bit of a trope. She's basically the Millennium Falcon, I know. But the coolest thing about Star Wars is the old beat up ships that are retrofitted with all this cool crap, and she's that. But the fun twist is that one of the boys, one of his buddies that he grew up with programmed her. And this is what idiot dudes will do. They program it with a grandmother's voice who is constantly derogatory towards and like motherly towards Reed. And then they lock the key. So like, and they throw it away. So like, he can never change the combination. She's always gonna call him Reedy. in front of all the soldiers and stuff, and it's a grandmother's voice. There's nothing he can do, and he hates it, but he also is like emotionally connected to it now
At this point,
because
he wouldn't change it even if he could, but he'd
he
want to.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If he magically could do it, he'd still be sitting there being like, I'll change it
I can't do
tomorrow.
it.
And he would
Yeah,
never do it. Yeah.
yeah, he would mourn it if she broke or whatever.
Yeah.
So. So I just had a lot of fun with it, and again, like that's an idea that could really go south, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like it worked. I feel like it actually helped drive a lot of scenes and added a nice little element, especially when you needed some humor.
Yeah.
You have to
Levity.
find your emotional ebbs and flows throughout a manuscript, and so I think it ended up working. Any idea can work, and I feel like that one actually did.
And it's built in very well, and I really enjoy the fact that it's it being an AI and Queenie being just in what we would call generally very intelligent because of her natural because of what she is makes it very fun. It adds levity. It means that she's funny, but always like poignant. Like you're
Yeah.
never just like she's not just like, what if we fly into the sun? And you're like, shut up, Queenie. Like you're like that's she's not giving
Yeah,
them
she
stupid
would
advice.
still be useful and smart, you know what I
Right,
mean? And she would
exactly.
still be like telling them the data of all those things that the sensors are picking up, and
Yeah.
you know, like she can run the cannons or whatever, and she can use those and target those like any AI would be able to. But then like two of them are broken. She's like, yeah, I can't use that one because it's broken. But I told you to fix it, didn't I? Like, but did you? Oh, you didn't. Yeah, that makes sense, Reedy.
So now
So
we're being shot at. Yeah. Yeah.
so now, yeah, I don't have coverage on my left flank. So great job.
Great job.
Yeah,
Okay. Gosh, that's so much more I want to talk to you about, but instead we're gonna go into lightning round.
lightning round.
Yeah. All right. Solstara lightning round.
All right.
Just so everybody can
How long do
remember.
I have for each? Just like 5 seconds?
I'm gonna count down. You'll see it on my hand. I'll count down.
Okay.
Let's make it nice and quick for you.
All right, here we go.
All right. I'm gonna ask it and I'll point, and that's when your time starts. Beach or blizzard, choose a side, the blistering, scorching side, or the freezing shadow side, and go.
You got to choose the shadow side because at least you can live in a cave. On the
Okay.
scorching side, it's 1,000 degrees Celsius. You're dead. So
Okay, great. This one's called Pitch Perfect. Which note would make for a better bore rifle? Would it be a crisp A flat or a reliable G?
crisp A flat, man. But G's kind of close, so maybe it's more powerful than some of the other pitches.
Ooh, okay, all right. See, I'm ruining the fandom's arguments back and forth right now by just having you answer these questions. They went from being able to have back and forth, being like, which one's stronger? And I'm like, nope, I'm getting the answers right now.
Here's the answers that you're all waiting for. All right,
Yeah.
here we go.
All right. Roommate wars. Who is more difficult roommate? Queenie and her constant grandmotherly scolding, or Jim and his habit of trying to trip you in the sand?
Definitely Jim. Definitely Jim. He's that guy that is physical and doesn't know when to stop at all times. No boundaries. Yeah.
Zero boundary Jim. All right. Arid zone happy hour. You're parched. Do you reach for the thorn fruit moonshine or the woodsy scrub root brew that tastes like sweetened dirt?
The thorn fruit because it's probably like what's the liquor that's made from cactus? It's probably kind of
Oh,
sweet.
yeah.
That it'll be bitter and sweet and tangy. The other one literally just tastes like dirt, and it's just like we need alcohol. So,
You're like you need another drink from drinking it.
yeah. Imagine alcohol made from beets.
Oh, yeah. I
Gross.
would not enjoy that. All right. Here, this one I called the rule of cool, weapon of choice, the harmonic greatsword or the comically well-stocked utility belt.
You got to go with the greatsword.
Yeah.
You're if you can wield it, but only some people can. You have to have the right tech to be able to wield it. Reed could never wield that thing.
True.
But if you can wield it, that thing will devastate everything.
That's the weapon. First class. Okay, your first real meal under a magnetic shield. Are you going for marsh spores or the rare lakeside fish?
Lakeside fish.
Lakeside fish.
As long as it hasn't been radiated too many times, because this world is steeped in radiation. If you can promise me that it hasn't been irradiated, man, the fish, you got to
Well,
go
you
for
said
it.
too many times, so I'm assuming one burst of radiation is acceptable on the planet.
I don't know. Like, wave the wand over the fish, and if it crackles too many times, be like,
Got to get out of here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear a little crackle and some background noise. All right. Let's see. I got about a minute left here, so I'll do one more.
Right.
Call this bodyguard duty. If a rook is charging your transport, who do you want standing in front of you? Reed, with his rifle or Rhea with her suit?
Rhea.
That was
Rhea
quick.
with the suit.
That was quick. That was
This
easy.
goes back to the great sword thing, man.
Yeah.
Reed's always undergunned. You don't want to be undergunned with him. It's not going to be pretty.
It's not
It's like, how can he not die here?
Guys, this is a special episode of Writer's Block with our writer Sam here. He's the man. Sam, I know that you're a host here, but today you're just on the show, man. Thanks for joining us
Hey, thanks for having me. This is a
on your
blast.
show. You should thank yourself for being on your show.
Thanks me for you came on.
Dude, this is awesome, dude. I'm so pumped for it. So proud of you, man. Great job.
Appreciate it, dude. Super fun.
Yeah, man. All right, well, I'll probably see you soon. Maybe I'll come to your house if this doesn't actually turn into snow.
We'll see.
All right.
You're always welcome. See you,
Thanks,
buddy.
brother. Later, man.
All right, bro, check this out.